What's up, everybody? Welcome to another very special episode of Herm Radio. This is our ninth episode. We got a real dope guest, a friend of mine, a real ill rapper, and a good person, man. That we gonna get into his catalog and hear what he's got going on today. He goes by the name of Barzan The Havnaught. What up, Barzan?
Good man, what's good?
Nothing much, man. I'm doing all right.
Yeah,
How you doing?
making it, man. Just trying to keep it above water. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So the way we do on this show is that we go off right off the bat and kind of play a song, kind of see where a person is with his music, what style the music is, and all that type of stuff. So what song you want to hear first?
Personal favorite is Nature the Beast, produced by Wolfgang Mercury. Shout out.
All right, word. So Nature of the Beast, produced by Wolfgang Mercury, by Barzan The Have Not, Herm Radio. Let's go.
It's within my nature to be the beast you love the least. Recently, I've been feasting on the memories of the deceased. My madness will not cease. When will I be relieved of this disease? Melancholy of the MC, the folly of the artist. Obsession will be on the point of voluntary martyrs. Poetic in the breath of every passing moment. Under the skin lies the final episode script. Every song a thief making rewrites in my sleep. And steeped in the solitude, my fortitude is progress. New, I promise you a non-issue and nonsense in the process. Monsters in the closet, skeletons make deposits. Your memory bank overload, buffer zone overflow. Hair and bones of Figaro's, yellow, white, and rose. I live life going with the chrome and the full clip. Trying to find a balance, but can't figure out the fulcrum. Your bullshit and illusions always keep my moves from. The nature of my zone is a home away from home. Got my head in the clouds and my feet on the throne. No king without a kingdom, is that all that I'll be? Gentleman of distinction, but a grimy MC. The nature of my zone is a home away from home. Got my head in the clouds and my feet on the throne. A king without a kingdom, is that all that I'll be? Gentleman of distinction, but a grimy MC. Say that to say this, just the life that I live. I'm nice with this shit, so I'ma fight for this shit. Say that to say this, just the life that I live. I'm nice with this shit, so I'ma fight for this shit. I do diligent, damn I do it well. Penny put in overtime, my quill is unrivaled. And yet to no avail, I'm still bottom of barrel. Elevate the conscious state, send them straight to hell. Yo, accelerate the fire in the mire of monotony. Spark up to the carcass as I exhale this botany. No carbon copy, vapor, capable of oxygen. Raven neighbors, paper, leave them naked in their moccasins. Rock a city positively, profits still be negative. Within lots of paradox, we rockin' just to live. Yo, pocketing my artistry, I'm constantly on watch duty. Marvelously cautionless, my body's my sarcophagus. And oftentimes I'm oftenless, other times I cope with death. And back to the dirt where my first word was hurt. Enveloped in pain, imprisoned in this earth. Where will this art take me? What is an artist worth? The nature of my zone is a home away from home. Got my head in the clouds and my feet on the throne. No king without a kingdom, is that all that I'll be? Gentleman of distinction, but a grimy MC. The nature of my zone is a home away from home. Got my head in the clouds and my feet on the throne. A king without a kingdom, is that all that I'll be? Gentleman of distinction, but a grimy MC. I say that to say this, just the life that I live. I'm nice with this shit, so I'ma fight for this shit. I say that to say this, just the life that I live. I'm nice with this shit, so I'ma fight for this shit. Nature of my zone is a home away from home. Got my head in the clouds and my feet on the throne. No king without a kingdom, is that all that I'll be? Gentleman of distinction, but a grimy MC. The nature of my zone is a home away from home. Got my head in the clouds and my feet on the throne. A king without a kingdom, is that all that I'll be? Gentleman of distinction, but a grimy MC.
Yeah, boss. I like that joint, man. That was real dope, bro.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So I have a couple of questions, man. Listening to that joint,
All
and
right.
I'm thinking about kind of I'm trying to put myself in your shoes and try to figure out the message of that joint. So you said You're saying a king without a throne, and like you're a man on your how's the chorus go?
Like
If you remember,
king without a kingdom is that all that'll be?
kingdom without a kingdom is all I'll ever be. So what are you saying in this rap? What's the motivation behind this?
Man, I feel like you do the best that everybody does the best they can and master their craft. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I've come to a level where everything I put out isn't like I'm not putting out trash. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm doing the best that I can in every aspect of my life. If it's writing, if I make a beat, or if I'm just trying to be a good father, you know what I'm saying? I'm mastering that craft, mastering my art, whatever it is. But it doesn't go recognized. Not that I need people's recognition, but it's like when you're a king, you want to have the kingdom. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
The song is about finding your place in the world. It's like you put in your heart and soul, but where do you belong? But you can't go back because that's just your nature. You know what I'm saying? It's your
Absolutely.
nature to be the best that you can be, and that's just you put it out there. You know what I mean? So,
Absolutely. Absolutely, bro. So let's
so
talk
where is
about.
my?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm just saying, where is my kingdom? You know, because I know I'm capable of being that king.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So a king without that, and that kind of makes me like that. I can relate to that, man, because like they have a theory that like some of the people that might have been royalty that may have had like great kingdoms, queendoms, all that type of stuff, like vast respectability and honor, and people that really seeing them for who they were. They say that we're in like flip times, that we're in opposite times right now, and that like a king who somebody who was a king say 7,000 years ago could be a peasant, could be looked at as a peasant on like today. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And
yeah,
like
that's
that's
definitely.
how I feel like when I'm hearing that statement. It's like I can relate to it in that sense where it's like I feel like I agree with you. Like I feel like a king. I feel like a lot of people do. Like we carry ourselves in a royal manner. You know what I mean? We carry ourselves with honor. But the way that we interact with the world, the notoriety may not match up to that in a world that seems kind of twisted. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, we all want respect. I mean, but I don't go looking to be hey notice me for what I do. But you want everyone to be appreciated that with the effort that they're making isn't just going for nothing. You know what I'm saying? And that's my old EP or my old album was all for naught. It was like, hey, I was putting that out, but what was it really for? And in essence, it was for me, but at the same time, I like to share it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And because a little bit background was I had taken a break from music for like almost 10 years. Like when I got divorced, I went out upstate New York, out in the country of Pennsylvania, and I was staying with people when I was homeless. You know what I'm saying? And learning from people. I wouldn't say spiritual masters, but people that sat with masters. You know what I'm saying? So I sat with. You might hear in some of my rounds. I got a lot. I sat with a lot of Sufis. You know what I mean? The people that was out in Pakistan and Kashmir and stuff. That was doing their thing, studying these books. I was sitting with them, and I put a lot of that in my rhymes because it's like this is part of the experience.
Hmm. So you say that really had a big impact on your rhymes?
Yeah, yeah. But for a long time, I wasn't rhyming because there's certain sects that don't believe in sitting around listening to music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
They think music is, and you can see it. Some music can lead you toward like a negative level where you're almost like a devil. You know what I'm saying? But to nip it in the bud, those sects say, nah, let's just avoid it altogether, which I don't believe in because if you can maintain yourself and you can maintain your stasis where you're doing good, then it shouldn't be a problem. You know what I mean?
Absolutely,
So
absolutely.
it took me like I wouldn't say 10 years. It took me about 7 years to reach that point where I can trust myself to be honest with what I'm saying and maintain positive impact on the people around me.
And that's important because words have a great impact, and it's like,
Almost definitely.
yeah. And I commend you for recognizing that, and for like, it's important to like sometimes stop yourself and just like wait if you're not coming correctly for one reason or another, like stop, go back to the drawing board and fix what needs to be fixed. Like, and that's dope, man, because like to be a student, like sounds like you're a real student of hip hop, and that's something I want to get into. I know we only got so much time, so I want to talk about more about like who is Barzan The Havnaught. Like what's your history in hip hop? You a veteran in this. You've been like you know like an artist and what it takes to be an artist, the struggle of artists, and I want to talk more about that. But let's get into another joint right quick.
All right.
What do you want to hear next?
Let's do the joint Lifetime.
Word. So so this one is me, Herm, and Barzan The Havnaught. This one's Lifetime. How do we do this? How do we come together and do this?
Oh, I had to be from Sultanmere, shout out. And I just wanted to put something that was like, you know, who we are, what we've been through, just different aspects, you know, your perspective versus my perspective is a contrast. But see, I think it worked well, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we had a little bit of what's called a tad bit of esotericism and then a little bit of existentialism. But it was both our experiences within ourselves and with our surroundings and the people we're around, and our, like you said, our impact on others.
Yeah, and I would agree. Yep.
So in that aspect, it meshed well.
And I'm looking for it right now. I think I know what it is.
I don't think I deleted it.
Nah, cause is it on yours? Is it on your SoundCloud?
Yeah, it's on my SoundCloud.
Okay.
It's not on my YouTube. It's on Paka's channel. Paka Vibe on YouTube.
It's on your SoundCloud, all right? Let me try to get on the SoundCloud right quick. No, I just seen it. Yeah, and I would agree, man. The same thing. It was like we was talking about our surroundings and like just the salt and beat itself just had you in that zone. Like as soon as I heard the beat, I was in that zone. You know what I mean? So it's like kind of just let it flow, and then the chorus kind of dictated like the rest of my verse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I like that beat because it was different. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like it's still boom bap, but it was like something stood out to me when I chose it.
Yeah, it kind of had some different influences.
So I was like, yo, I gotta get that joint, and honestly, I got open to it once you put your verse on. I was like, all right, I'm gonna talk about this. It was done.
Word.
I like them tracks that you know you can just like it just flows out of you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Words just use you as a medium.
Absolutely. So let's get right into it, man. Barzan The Havnaught featuring Herm. My fault, bro. What'd you say?
Nah, just all right.
Oh shit. All right, so Barzan The Havnaught featuring Herm, Lifetime, produced by Salt and Mir.
Human beings certainly should all be removed from the face of existence because of their pathology and the fundamental horrors of being itself.
Yeah, gets real in this lifetime. What I've been through, give me the feeling. It gets real in this lifetime. What I've been through, give me the feeling. The right rhymes. Round here they carry steel in the nighttime. For they stealing my light, got my heel on your pipeline. Yeah, it gets real in this lifetime. What I've been through, give me the feeling. The right rhymes. Round here they carry steel in the nighttime. For they stealing my light, got my heel on your pipeline. This life be grimy as hell, so I might as well fall in line. I'm violent as well. Feel like at times it's a spell. Our thoughts are a sign of self, or maybe our minds in the cell. Things that I seen keep me silent, won't tell. If you know it's well, keep it low, but don't go in your shell. I risk it all to get rid of these walls. Ain't no pity in the city of gods. It's gritty and hard. I sit under stars, living in Mars, risen from Mars for my infinite cause, giving the laws beyond mankind. Lines in the sands we can't find. Turn back the hands of time, land on the round like you stand on a mine. A clan is a line, planets and signs, fulfill the plans of my kind. Overstand the design. Warrior from my head to my feet. To know my story when I'm dead and I'm asleep. The heavens will weep, even yet I still speak.
Yo, real in this lifetime, the mic line's my lifeline. Brilliant, resilient, feeling ill in the nighttime. Grimy as it gets without flags and sets. You never sold my soul, never had to yet. The real in this lifetime, the mic line's my lifeline. Brilliant, resilient, feeling ill in the nighttime. Grimy as it gets without flags and sets. Never sold my soul, never had to yet. Sounds of the skyline, heartbeat of the street. Your part of me unpopular, my mockery, your opulence, an auditory, your oculus. I'm all up in your monitors. Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song. How it takes a lifetime to admit that you're wrong. Don't have all the answers, but still probably involved. You're highly evolved, yet we hardly ever talk. Society as a whole is a variety of foes. Your network with dress shirts to upward your net worth. No effort to set forth a reality to avatars. Parody of Babylon, the gravity of Avalon. Valhalla in the echelon, the problem that we rest upon. Invested in the struggle, from heaven in the rubble. Nuances are subtle, my whole ambiance is trouble. No breakbeats in my bloodstream, my heart beats a kick snare. When this life is over, my soul will be right there. When this life is over, my soul will be right there.
It gets real in this lifetime. What I've been through, give me the feeling, the right rhymes. Round here they carry steel in the nighttime. For they still in my life, got my heel on your pipeline.
Yo, real in this lifetime, the mic line's my lifeline. Brilliant, resilient, feeling ill in the nighttime. Grimy as it gets without flags and sets. You never sold my soul, never had to yet.
It gets real in this lifetime. What I've been through, give me the feeling, the right rhymes. Round here they carry steel in the nighttime. For they still in my life, got my heel on your pipeline.
My fault. Yeah. What up, Barz? Yeah, that joint was real ill. I had a lot of fun making that joint. Let me ask you this. I want to get right into it, man. Who is Barzan The Havnaught? And like, tell us about how you came up, how you got that name, how long you been rapping, and like, what your come up in the DMV area as a rapper has been like.
Oh man, I've been doing this since like 98, 99. Actually, I was a DJ first. I was DJing since 95. I wasn't a really good DJ, you know what I'm saying? But I was doing parties and stuff, and I had a crew, and we all, everybody was spitting little BS rhymes here and there, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I had went to a coffee house joint, and it was like an open mic, and I spit some rhymes, and people was feeling it, you know what I'm saying? It was, oh, yo, that's dope. And you know how it goes. You got one verse, then you make two, then it's three, then everyone's feeling it, so they hype you up. And they just went from there. I was like, all right, well, guess I'm a rapper now. You know what I'm saying? Because back then, anybody would be in a cipher if you was a rapper or not. People would go in the cipher and just spit what they had. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So around 99, I took my DJ name, which was DJ Sight, and I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna be a rapper now. So I'm gonna be Sight 3 for like Third Eye Vision and stuff. That was popular at the time. People talked about it a lot. People don't really talk about it no more. I guess it's kind of corny.
What was? Oh, you talking about Third Eye Vision?
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah. So so I was Sight 3, and man, when I graduated high school, I went hard. Doing every open mic I could find, doing every showcase I could find, doing battles. I kind of sucked at battles, you know what I'm saying? But I did them. I never washed out the first round. Because back then, we did battle different back then. You know?
You did like the real rounds of battle like in front of crowds and stuff?
Yeah, I did it. I always made it to the second round. I never made it to the finals or nothing. But it was good enough for me to get that experience in and be like, yo, you know what? I could battle if it came to it. But it was over beats and it was freestyling. So if you was corny and you was just spitting writtens at the time, that was a no-no. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No one wanted to hear you spitting writtens back in the day. If you wasn't freestyling, then it was like, what are you doing here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was to my advantage because if I had to battle now, I wouldn't make it. You know what I'm saying? These new dudes, their
Yeah, it
pen
gets
is
ruthless, man. It's
yeah, the
ruthless.
pen is quite nice now, but it's not the same though. So
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't make it even half a second.
I don't know,
but, uh,
man.
but you know they take like 3 months to write it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they did, right?
So if you take it 3 months to write about 6 minutes of verse rhymes, it better be top notch.
Yeah. Nah,
But
they get in depth now.
yeah. So from the 2000 or like 2007, we was doing shows in DMV and me and my crew. But it was before social media, so like nobody had camera phones. Like if you had a camera phone, it was like a razor, and the quality was
Yeah.
garbage.
Garbage.
And I wish I could find some of them shows, but I gotta find anyone who had a camcorder back then. But so from like 2007 to 2013, I didn't do nothing. Like I said, I went out of state. Was homeless for a while. Uh, I was just focusing on my spiritual state because I was humbled. Like I went from like I was a 24-year-old making like 50,000 a year, and then I went to homeless. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That quick. That was the 2008 was the Obama came into office, so you know that was the recession.
Mm-hmm.
So I got divorced, and I put all my money into paying for the condo while I wasn't even living in it, and my ex-wife had rolled out. So that really hit me hard. So I was just like, my spiritual state was messed up, and I was just trying to find something that flowed with who I was. I chill with people, a couple of Buddhists, some. I don't really chill with the Hare Krishnas, but I talked to some. A lot of Muslims, whether it's Sunni or Shia, if they were Sufi or Salafi, you know what I'm saying? I meshed well with the Sufis because what they was talking about was like spoke more to me, you know what I'm saying? Um, and the Have Not was one of my monikers I had. You know when MF Doom came out, everybody had around that time. Everybody had like a alter ego.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I think it just came out that he was Zev Love X, and people, oh, done, that's his alter ego. And then Madlib did the same thing with Quasimodo, and someone had posted an article about rappers that make beats not being taken seriously. So
Yeah,
I was like, all
yeah.
right, well, let me I was making beats, so I was like, let me have a different producer name. So the Have Not was one of my producer names I had just like scribbled down back in the day. And like I said, it was before social media, before Facebook, and before MySpace. So there's not really any record of it out there, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Except for the CDs that had sold at shows.
So it was just the have not.
Yeah, it was just to have not back
Okay.
then.
So
And
that
then,
was before Barzan.
yeah,
Okay.
but that was the producer name. I was still Psych 3 as an MC.
Okay.
And then
What's
when
the importance? What do you think the importance of separating your name as an artist or a producer? Like you was talking about different entities within one person. What's the importance?
well, like I said, there was an article floating around. I can't remember what magazine it was, but they were saying that I forgot what rapper wasn't getting any respect as that rapper when he made beats. But when he put it out under a different name, people were feeling it. So it's like just having a separate name flip the coin for being, oh, that's a dope beat to, oh, you just a rapper, that's a bullshit beat, you know what I'm saying? So it just carried over from that. I mean, I was real easily influenced, I guess, from back then.
Yeah. We all were.
Young, you know what I'm saying? And the Barzan just came out. Just I was like, yo, I was reading a history book. I was reading some Middle Eastern history, and I learned speaking Arabic and learned to write Arabic. And then I saw the name Barzan, which is actually Persian, I think. When I saw the name Barzan, oh, Barz, you know what I'm saying?
So it's
And
like
I looked,
Barzan.
yeah, so I looked up who he
Yeah.
was. And I was like, oh, he stood up to Alexander the Great, and he wasn't having it. So I was like, yo, he gonna stand up to the big dog. You know what I'm saying? Alexander the Great in history was like, you couldn't F with him. But
Mm-hmm.
Barzan stood up to him and was like, all right, you might beat me, but I'm going to stand my ground. And that was kind of inspirational, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So that's deep. I had no idea
Yeah,
that's what Barz in. I thought it was like Tarzan, but you have Barz. But that's a whole
yeah, that's how
different
I
thing.
pronounce it sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a history nerd, man. I'm a history and a technology nerd.
Yeah.
Like I got different kinds of nerds out there. I like history. And then when I was reading into Middle Eastern and Near East history, it was fascinating. Like Babylon and Persia. Then you go into ancient Arabia and the kingdoms of Kush and uh, Sheba and stuff, where it is between Africa and the Arab Peninsula. It's fascinating to me because it gets overlooked by a lot of Orientalists as just these backwards people, but it was like civilizations, like real civilizations. You know what I'm saying?
So you talking about the kingdom of Kush. What is that? Tell us more about that.
The whole well, depending on what time period you're at, it defines the borders because it can expand from here from Sudan and Egypt further on out. But the specific time period I'm talking about is between the Queen of Sheba and King Solomon's time. You know what I'm saying? It runs in together between Egypt and Sudan and Somalia and Ethiopia and present day Eritrea. You know what I'm saying? It all runs together.
So these are like great and massive civilizations, uh, possibly prior to Egypt or around that time, like that. A lot of people don't talk about.
Around that
Correct.
time, yeah,
A lot of people don't talk about this. We're talking about geographically, um, south of Egypt, right?
yeah. Because right across the Red Sea or Dead Sea, Red Sea, you know, they were doing trade. They were trading. Arabia and Africa were doing trades the entire time. People were like, oh well, they were these backwards people that just lived in the desert. They weren't just sitting around the desert chilling. You know what I'm saying? They were doing
Not at
trade with
all.
China. They were doing trade with Persia, and they're doing trade with Africa. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I looked into it because a couple years ago, my uncle, or my dad had convinced my brother to do a DNA test, and my brother's DNA came back 20% matching the people of Northern Africa and matching people from Arab roots. You know what I'm saying? They don't tell you exactly what country. They say, "Oh, this region shares this much of your DNA."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Oh, word. Let me look into that." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
So,
There's a lot about that part of the world, and then there's actually a lot of information kind of pointing in the direction of that civilization was actually brought from Africa to other continents as opposed to the opposite, which is what a lot of us are taught. You know what I mean? Like
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
civilization, you got the Moorish people,
Oh,
the
definitely, yeah.
Moorish Empire, like you say, you got the Kush Empire, you got Egypt, all these, and then the Greeks, the Druids, all these people actually came to these places to learn their ways, to learn about
Yeah,
civilizations. The Moors traveled up north into what is now Europe to bring civilization, to
yeah,
bring sewage, what not sewage, but plumbing, eating with
yeah.
forks and
Butter.
spoons. You know what I mean? Brought Europe out of the Dark Ages. So it's actually a history that's kind of quite contrary to what a lot of people are taught and believe. Man, what you think?
Oh yeah. One the greatest people always say, oh, the libraries of Alexandria were the greatest libraries. But there's a lot of evidence saying that the library in Timbuktu was one of the greatest libraries. You know what I'm saying? Mali, and it's
Mali Empire, right?
yeah. So that was like one of the greatest libraries. Some people say the face of humanity has ever seen. But where did it go was destroyed as soon as somebody saw it and said they didn't like it and destroyed it.
Yeah.
But you can tell by the architecture that is still there that it wasn't just like mud huts or nothing. You know what I'm saying? That picture that they paint, there's all these mud huts and stuff. What mud huts exist, but the architecture ain't mud huts. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's like a lot of this Zimbabwe had a architecture that was so impressive when the settlers came there. They were like, oh, it had to be a lost white tribe because they couldn't have made this. So I was like,
Yeah.
no offense to white people, but that's kind of silly, man.
Hey man, that's why you know what I mean. That's why it's important to you can't listen to anything that is told to you. You gotta go like find the information yourself. I think books is like the best resource out of anything, but even books can be like written by a person. You know
Oh
what I mean?
yeah, that's the problem, man. Because books can be skewed too. You know what I'm saying? They can have agendas. Authors can have agendas. So you gotta look at who's writing the books. You know what I'm saying? Someone tried to school me and told me to read this book by such and such author. I'm like, well, this author's obviously has an agenda toward this opinion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So why would I read a book about that if he has an opinion that he's gonna put every evidence he has toward that? It's like I told my friend, I was like, all right, you're Jewish, right? He's like, yeah, I'm Jewish. Would you recommend me to read a book written by a Nazi? You know what I'm saying? He's like, no, that don't make no sense. I said, obviously it doesn't make no sense.
Yeah.
So if I wanted to read about a history, I'm not going to read about it from a perspective of someone that has an agenda. You know what I mean? But some people don't see that. Like, a lot of people will read books on Islam written by people that hate Islam.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, why would you do that?
Yeah, and it's sick.
Or someone referenced, I can't remember the name of the book, but it was a historical book about Jesus Christ written by atheists.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like, I can't really trust that source. He might have points that are valid and true, but obviously he's going to have an agenda. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I heard that never trust your oppressor to give you information on how to like empower yourself, man. Like, why would you ever expect that to be the case?
100, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, so I wanted to go ahead and get into another joint by you, and then come back, continue this convo, yo. What's another joint we could play? You got anything where you're talking about this kind of subject matter?
Not really. I think my joint Dummy touches a couple of things, but I got to go over the lyrics again to see what exactly I was saying. Because that track Dummy was about just being a dummy. A lot of it is like, you know, the red pill, blue pill thing that a lot of people talk about back from the Matrix.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta choose, man. Because it's just like a lot of stress if you just 100% red pill every day. You know what I'm saying? If every aspect of your life is red pill, you're gonna come across as being arrogant, and you're gonna come across as being a know-it-all. And we shouldn't be that way. You know what I'm saying? We should be humble, but what was I looking at the other day? Someone was saying a man wasn't meant to be humble. He was meant to be humble. I think it was Mike Tyson talking to Fat Joe or something like that. But that struck me. It was like, yo, that's crazy if you think about it.
A man wasn't meant to be humble. A man is meant to be humble. You said what?
Oh, okay,
my fault. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and play that joint anyway. I'm gonna play that song.
All right, hold up.
So we got Barzan The Havnaught with Dummy. Herm Radio, let's go.
Why are you alive?
I live to safeguard the continuity of this great society.
It's circular. You exist to continue your existence. What's the point?
What's the point of your existence?
To feel. Because you've never done it, you can never know it. But it's as vital as breath.
Consequence of non-fact and the actions of the sick bastard. No matter of fact, a heart attack, me grave lo siento, Jack. My ramblings and ranting shit, I'm damaged, kid, is evident and interesting and barely hinging, hardly a citizen. Government is testing me on every single level. Sometimes I feel a slave to a 5-foot caramel devil. She runs around and puts me down and gives me hope. It's all a joke, regurgitate a bunch of quotes and hit you with the okie doke. Fitting in every direction, it's a horror scene. Muharabin, ought to be an edge of me. Glory on the mezzanine. Ahle was sahling by your weapons in the Gatlin. Yo, marhaba for confidants, give salams and carry on. It's a marathon, I'm ignorant, intelligence will get you marked. Mopped up with a sponge and taking out the race. If it's not straw dinners and sucked up off a plate. Yo, nursing homes and hospitals, I spent my life knowing the toll. No Juliet's for Romeo, I'm truly yo, so Susio. Solo on this mission, creating friction in the system. Yo, visions of my freedom ain't free to see next season. They charging us for breathing, ain't dying but still bleeding. Receiving their deception, belief without a question. Yo, lemons off a cliff, kebabs getting fatter out the pasture. Your life don't mean shit if you refuse Baphomet the master. Everywhere I look, attacks on my sanity. No tragedy, you're bound, no we're safe for my family. Reality settles in, ain't no home for the weary. Seriously screwed, watched by Lexa and Siri. Everywhere I look, attacks on my sanity. No tragedy, you're bound, no we're safe for my family. Reality settles in, ain't no home for the weary. Seriously screwed, watched by Lexa and Siri. War, famine, sickness, death. Your poverty, perversion, complacency, stress. Your drugs, so-called love, the luxury of entertainment. Arrogance and decadence, obsession with the famous. Well, I am not paranoid, MK Ultra's in effect. COINTELPRO and Instagram just a warm-up for what's next. Social media recording you in the database in Maryland. Defense intelligence ain't there for the fucking terrapins. Your hashtag relevance and algorithm relevance. Black helicopter for and after every shooting. Ain't hardly any coppers that actually practice prudence. Producers and actors, rapists and captors. Laboratory highs make some beautiful hazards. Everywhere I look, attacks on my sanity. No tragedy, you're bound, no we're safe for my family. Reality settles in, ain't no home for the weary. Seriously screwed, watched by Lexa and Siri. Everywhere I look, attacks on my sanity. No tragedy, you're bound, no we're safe for my family. Reality settles in, ain't no home for the weary. Seriously screwed, watched by Lexa and Siri.
I have no choice but to remand you to the Palace of Justice for processing.
Processing. You mean execution, don't you?
Processing.
Yeah, I like that joint, man. Definitely speaking on some of the subject matter we were just talking about.
Yeah, threw a couple Arabic words in there. I don't know if people catch it or not.
Nah, I don't think. What did you throw in there?
There was Sahlan, which is like a popular Arabic term. When I went to Saudi Arabia a couple years ago, it's like their culture of hospitality. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come in and make yourself comfortable. You're welcome here. You know what I mean? It's a little bit different from the normal term of people giving assalamu alaikum, salams. So in that aspect, it's like it's more along the terms of you're a welcome guest. You can't turn away guests here. You know what I'm saying? So it's the culture of hospitality. But how much of it is genuine? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, you got this culture of hospitality, but you also got people that are just like crazy. You know what I'm saying? It was an interesting trip. I'll tell you that much.
I want to ask you, because you've spoken about your time with different spiritual masters and people of different faiths, and you spoke about the influence of Islam on your music and I guess life. And I want to ask you because there's a lot of different ideas and conceptions about Islam. I think it's like real amazing, like what you were saying about that phrase, and it's like my interpretation from a lot of these, like the words, like in the phrases, and like the warmth in a lot of these words in Arabic. It's like real amazing. And it's like it gives me the idea of I want to know more. I want to know like what is Islam to you, and like what influence has it had in like your music and in your life?
Well, with anything, you got duality. You know what I'm saying? So you got a path of guidance, and then you got the path that you actually walk. You know what I mean? So to me, Islam is the best fit path for me. You know what I'm saying? I was raised Roman Catholic, but there were just too many questions that was like didn't make any sense to me personally. And I took 12 years of catechism class, not even a Bible study, but catechism class, which is like in-depth studying. You know what I'm saying? And not just the Bible, but part of the church. And people in the church couldn't answer my questions that I had. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to anybody, because if that's what you feel is your path that works best for you, then walk that path. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna stop you, but it just wasn't for me. And when I was asking people questions about my concerns,
My fault. I'm
when I was
listening.
asking,
I got my yeah.
yeah, when I was asking people questions about my concerns, the questions were best answered in a way that made logical sense to me by what people interpreted the Quran to say. You know what I'm saying? And so to me, Islam is a discipline because it's not just like, hey, I believe something, but it's, hey, I got to do something. You know what I mean? Now, whether you do it all 100% or you do it 50%, that's a relationship between you and the creator and between you and whoever made you, whatever you want to call that force, whatever you want to call that spiritual power in the universe, that's between you and that. You know what I'm saying? Muslims just happen to call that power Allah. You know what I'm saying? Which isn't a separate name. That name is just means the God. You know what I mean?
So
So
that's
like
what
Hinduism,
a lot of people don't know that, right?
yeah, a lot of
That's
people think Allah is the name of some moon guy. Well, just because some others in the desert attributed that to it, that's not what it means. The actual word is Al Ilah, which is in Hebrew is Elo, and then you see in Hebrew Elohim. You know what I'm saying? So in Arabic it would be Elohim. So it's the same word, just the guy. So
mm-hmm.
when you put that article the in front of it, it's an absolute. You know what I mean? And so it's just that's why people pay that name respect because if you're talking in absolutes, then that's the guy.
Yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? So so I forgot where we started, but
Nah. That kind of answered my question. Yeah, I
yeah,
want to
to
get
me,
into another joint. I got another question for you, but I want to get into another joint. Keep this music thing going.
oh yeah,
Keep,
yeah,
keep
definitely.
having people know what you're about. I want to ask you about some projects you got coming up and stuff. But let's go ahead and get into another joint. What do you want to hear next?
Let's do the joint from the drugs compilation of fentanyl, I guess.
All right, word, yeah, off that drugs compilation that I put together different songs that are actually speaking on drugs from different perspectives, kind of more educational standpoint. And this was a great addition to the tape, a track that Barz had already released called Fentanyl. Give us a brief introduction to this track, please, Barz.
Oh man, so about 3 years ago, I gotten messed up. I got surgeries and stuff. I was disabled. I was in the hospital for a month, and but I was sick for like 4 months. So I was on. Actually, I'm still sick, but I was on every painkiller they had, man. Tramadol, Percocet, Vicodin, Dilaudid, um, and fentanyl. Actually had fentanyl in my IV. So when I was hitting that button, I was getting a dose of fentanyl.
Yeah.
But it wasn't 20 milligrams like the song say. 20 milligrams will kill you, but I was on 20 milligrams of Vicodin a day. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was taking 5 every 6 hours or something. But yeah. So it was just the experience because like anything foreign substance that's a chemical you introduce to your body, you're gonna have a chemical change. And I'm thankful that I didn't have a dependency on it, but I was hallucinating from the tramadol. I was in feeling depressed from the Vicodins. I was feeling well actually I wasn't awake for the July. I was asleep most of the time. But yeah, it's just those feelings you get when you just go from one medication to another medication or one drug to another drug and then you're trying to self medicate because in between I was doing CBD and I was still sparking up, you know what I'm saying? Because none of the painkillers were working.
Yeah.
Because my problem wasn't with muscle pain or anything, it was my nerves. So I mean I was going through an 8 to sour diesel a day. You know what I
Damn,
mean?
a day.
Just trying to float on the pain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but when you add that to the Dilaudid, it's just like you in another planet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so
And
that kind of so this song is kind of talking about that whole struggle, that whole part of your life.
yeah, yeah. So it's like the struggle was the first verse is like what every day was like. The hook is like how I feel I want to beat it, and then the second verse was like where I'm at now, how I'm like more positive and I just want to attack it. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Mm-hmm.
not letting it hold me back. And I'm thankful I'm one of the lucky people that didn't get a dependency or addicted to it.
Yeah, yeah. All right, we're gonna get right into it. So, next joint is called "Fentanyl" by Barzan The Havnaught. Let's go. Where we at?
Find it on the DRUGS album compilation.
Off that DRUGS for drugs that we put together. It was real dope. All right, "Fentanyl" by Barzan The Havnaught, produced by Salt and Mid. Let's go.
Check it out. Get out. Get out.
Yo, I break bread with bass heads, get facelifts and breakfast. Gon' ape shit, I'm anxious, I'm hateful and tasteless. Range from patient dangerous to myself and others. Yo, brother, I'm a cutter, but nothing's ever subtle. The pain of being alive, just waking up's a puzzle. Struggle to leave my troubles, pandemonium rebuttals. And nah, nigga, nah, you stay right there. Yo, don't say a word, I'm burned, this right here. Yo, intake the acetate, run it till exasperate, lacerate the Rillo. Gelato make a pillow. How I feel for real though, hits bedlam through my window. Torrential rain inside, potential pain I hide. It's innate, I'm rigid, my soul feels so frigid. Living since Leviticus, ridiculously hideous. The mirror shard shattered. Swiftly, are you serious? Unstable, my mental imbalanced in essentials. Talents are consequential, haven't reached the crescendo. Pen versus pencil, my utensils are made of metal. Eventually I settle, but this fentanyl's my sentinel. Keeps me in this hellhole, the side effects are well known. Pretend I'm feeling swell though, relief through Norelco.
Pretend I'm feeling swell though, relief through Norelco.
20 milligrams and these feelings will dance. Got a real ill stance, about to blow my chance. Enhance or potentiate damage my mental state. Levitate his featherweights when talent leave the case. 20 milligrams and these feelings will dance. Got a real ill stance, about to blow my chance. Enhance or potentiate damage my mental state. Levitate his featherweights when talent leave the case. Blessed to be aggressively creating my own recipes. The monster is ahead of me who dwells in the centerpiece. Destiny's upset of me, she won't let me be a friend to my enemies. Betrayal is a tendency, trust is an issue I just can't circumvent. The plus when it hits you with the circus of Percocets. Your worthless be your first guess to your final foray. I'm breaking spinals for days as my rhyme book's a maze. And maybe I find time to recline when it's over. Till then my only friends are circles and ovals. Maybe I'll find time to recline when it's over. Till then my only friends are circles and ovals. 20 milligrams and these feelings will dance. Got a real ill stance, about to blow my chance. Enhance or potentiate damage my mental state. Levitate his featherweights when talent leaves the case. 20 milligrams and these feelings will dance. Got a real ill stance, about to blow my chance. Enhance or potentiate damage my mental state. Levitate his featherweights when talent leaves the case.
Check it out.
Yeah, you said a lot in that joint. Yeah, boss. I enjoyed that one, man. Yo, you there?
Yeah. Hold up. Putting groceries in the house.
Oh, damn. Hold on, I'll give you a minute. I'll play another joint.
Okay.
This is old, man. You know what I'm saying? Like 5 years ago. I was letting you slide.
Yo, boss.
Yeah.
Can you mute the Hangouts joint?
Oh, my bad.
No, it's all good.
The human in disguise, I'm defeating all the odds.
Stop with the pomp and them circumstances. Ecclesia bars are here to stomp on your dances. Fancy dab brain and rappers getting smacked out the habitats. Perhaps it's just chance to orchestrate a fact. Regardless, with some monsters here to bother your conscience. Atomic bomb the process with microphone obviously entendres are awesome when I'm not talking nonsense. With literary honors, we're incendiary authors. Turn notepads to ashes, send phone after crashing. Catch girl on my page cause I'm handsome and dashing. But I'm ugly with the pen, never cared about fashion. Derelict, dialect, polydactyl with the tactical. Nice in every aspect, I'm actually an asshole. And practically the rap tango cash on the track. Yo, I am Jack's complete, lack of surprise. Yo, Barz and Clizzy in the club here to fight. Stomp the ground sounds of 4 pounds of your gastric. Attach this rap shit if you fresh to the rancid.
Stop, 1, 2, 3, break it down, get down. Stop, 1, 2, 3, break it down, get down.
Stomp the ground sounds of 4 pounds of your gastric. Attach this rap shit if you fresh to the rancid.
Stop, 1, 2, 3, break it down, get down. Stop, 1, 2, 3, break it down, get down.
Bars on a knee, spark up the heat. We stomp through the streets like cheetahs and baboons. Speed, strength, and agility, we beast. Better stand clear, feet in your damn throat. Yellow tape in the booth, step away, let us do it. Yo, we elevate, nothing like a featherweight. This heavyweight, the levy breaks every time I step the beats. Forever shine on everything. The endless minds in the galaxy. Verbal gladiators, moving dope like we Pappy Mason. Not average, the top notch, mastering the lost arts. Got it cracking like you don't pee. Step into some dope MCs. Severing your throats cause we spitting out guillotines. Kill it clean, rhythm from my inner demons. Haunt you in your sleep, got pockets full of evil. Lost within the equinox, we stomping on your freedom. Behemoth in the skies, I'm defeating all the odds.
Behemoth in the skies, I'm defeating all the odds.
Stomping ground sounds of 4 pounds of your gastric. Attach this rap shit if you fresh to the rancid.
Stop, 1, 2, 3, break it down, get down. Stop, 1, 2, 3, break it down, get down. Down, get down.
Yo, pimp slap killers with the back of my cat fillers. Steel toe caterpillars lodge on your abdomen. Impale both chambers, rappers acting like Dracula. Vibrant soul pros leave a mark on your throat. And talk a little more, and we chalk on your bro. It's a walk in the park like rich people and dogs. Yo, here's a grain of salt so you can save for your thoughts. Opposition better off out the calling the cops.
Put you deep in the dirt when I speak what I spurt. Fuck a leech, fuck a worm. Been a genius since a fetus. Since birth we've been eating like kings. Hit you with the sting like Ali. Visually rip through your soft tissue, the God's risen. It's official. Cock pistols with a pen, special ops got them locked in. We rockin' like Zeppelin. Opponents in coffins cause they fucking with the best yet. What?
Stop, 1, 2, 3, break it down, get down. Stop, 1, 2, 3, break it down, get down.
Yeah, what up, Barz? You there? Yeah, I just played that that stomp joint with you and Ecclesi.
Hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh yeah, sorry, I got water all over my phone.
Oh damn.
Yeah, joint. Sorry, man. It's raining over here, and I'm trying to put all these groceries in the house and stuff.
Yeah, my fault, man. I'm not gonna hold you too much longer and whatnot, bro. I really appreciate our conversation so far and everything, and hearing some of your joints, man. We just played that joint with Ecclesi and with you and Ecclesi just now, right?
Yeah. That's a different beat I liked. Another reminded me like an old '90s joint, commercial joint.
Yeah. All right, man. I know it's late and whatnot. I'm gonna let you go. What you got coming up and whatnot? Like, how can we find your music? What are your links and all that type of stuff? Where can people find your music at?
FB/Barzan The Havnaught. SoundCloud as Eddie Sankofa. YouTube is youtube.com/C/Eddie Sankofa. My FB page, you'll probably find more links there.
All right, so Eddie Sankofa on Facebook. And then like Barzan The Havnaught, you could pretty much search that on
Yeah, yeah,
YouTube.
IG, and everything.
Okay, word, man. Yeah, all right, man. We
Y'all,
gonna
man.
get out of here, man. I really appreciate you sitting down with me.
Definitely.
100%. We gotta do some more music soon.
Yeah.
Absolutely, bro. All right, man. Y'all have a good one. Talk soon. All right.
All right. Peace.
All right, we out of here, man. Herm Radio, episode 9. Appreciate y'all.